Hello and welcome to another episode of This Week in Astro. You can always keep up to date with Astro and all of its developments by following along with its GitHub repo by going to github.com/withastro and giving it a wee follow. It is the week ending the 12th of June and has been a really exciting week here in the community. Before we get to all of that, first let's take a look over this week's community calls. These take place each week in our Discord live chat channel, Tuesday 7 PM GMT. This week's call was again filled with familiar faces and some new ones who came as well, so to those who joined, thank you, you're all awesome. We really appreciate your presence. We had no major issues that needed discussing coming from within the GitHub repo itself. Most of these were already being tackled by the team themselves. We also see the inject root hook discussed and has now have a very active and healthy PR that is being developed on by Pascal and the core team to help deliver this API soon to us. So more news on this as and when it appears. We also had announcements on the hackathon, the announcements to the V1 release, and we were also discussing the changes that were made to the governance documentation for the Astro project. So first up is the hackathon announcements. Now, both Ben and I announced the hackathon winners this year on YouTube during a live stream on Wednesday, and it was so much fun that we really did have a great time announcing all the fantastic winners. Here we're just going to quickly go over the winners of this year's hackathon. First up, for the SSR category, we had Passo's Courses by Pascal Schlipp, a fantastic project that brought in an interactive learning experience within a server-side rendered environment. Really was a fantastic project, so congratulations Pascal on winning. Next up was the winner of the Themes category, and this went to Lloyd Atkinson for his amazing work with Astro Snipcart. So congratulations Lloyd, you really did smash it with your amazing entry. The last category was the Integrations category, and this was won by Osada Vidath with his amazing Astro Auth package. Such a bright wee talent. We then moved into the Honourable Mentions section of the hackathon announcements. Now these are awards that were provided to special individuals who went above and beyond the call of the hackathon. The first award that we presented was the Community MVP Award. Now this went to Agnostic Astro, Rob Levine, for his fantastic support and help that he gave others throughout the entire hackathon process. It was really amazing to see, dude. You are really the MVP. The next honourable mention was the coveted Mad Scientist Award. Now this went to Fico, our very own Intelliform in the community, for his just sheer brazen experimental audacity. So great work, dude. Thank you very much for all that you do. Next up was the award for the new content on the block. And this was shared between both Eka and Mark for their amazing work on utilising the Notion API. Both tackled this from two different points and both created a fantastic use case of utilising Notion with Astro. So thank you very much guys for your amazing work. The next honourable mention was the UI Candy Award, and this went to the UI Gallery, created by Harshdeep Singh. His UI Gallery site was a fantastic site that utilised a lovely mixture of UI interactions and gamification to create a very interesting take on how to display UI interfaces. The next award was the Mr. Worldwide Award, and this went to Yassine Dogri for his fantastic work with the IN18 Next package and his integration with Astro. What he managed to do with this particular integration was allow it to have a more seamless one-to-one experience for those who are utilising such a standard for providing translations to their Astro project. And the last award for this year's hackathon honourable mentions was Naomi with her amazing Web3 project, Yellow. Astro's inaugural hackathon was a resounding success, with so much diversity and creativity that was offered by so many talented developers. It really was a joy to check out all the amazing projects that were submitted for this year's hackathon. And if you'd like to do that yourself, by all means, please do check out the Hackathon Showcase site. It is live and will be there in perpetuity for you to view at your own leisure. And this brings to a close Astro's inaugural hackathon. We then had an announcement from the Astro team informing us that the target date of June the 8th was being pushed back by a month. This is to concentrate on being able to deliver on their promise of providing us with the best developer experience possible. This time extension allows the team to focus on improving out-of-the-box performance for Astro, better error handling around the codebase, deliver a better dev server experience. To find out more information about the decisions taken by the team, the reasons why the release was delayed by a month, you can do so by checking out the announcement page on the astro.build blog, and I must confess, I do love that logo. The next most significant change that's happened this week was the reforms that were made to the governance docs. For those who probably are not aware, Astro has its own governance policy for the entire organisation laid out. If you want to contribute to Astro, check out this document for sure. And you'll be able to find this at the root of the With Astro repo. The proposed changes are in many ways improvements to the existing governance model. This has been taken by Fred with a lot of forethought to try and bring the governance of the project in line as the project grows into its second year. The big reform points are removing the technical requirement from core. This lifting of the restriction allows for the ability to recognise the hard work from the awesome people within the community. The shift of the technical burden has now been placed into a new group forming the Astro Technical Steering Committee. This group's role would be to ensure the responsibility of the technical decisions being made to the project. This entails simplifying the consensus model, bringing it in line with the rough consensus model made popular by the Internet Engineering Task Force. There was further reforms made with shake-ups to the privileges for staff roles, empowering those brought in to work on Astro to be reflective of the Astro's contribution ladder. More project roles were also added to recognise the amazing teams that have coalesced in the group over the past year. Recognising the Docs team, the support squad, more officially and providing even more resources to them from the project's governance perspective. A new role was added for those absent maintainers of the project who, for life's reasons, move on to other projects or move away from Astro. We still wish to keep strong ties with these amazing people and recognise their contribution through time. This has led to the creation of the Astro's alumni, making room for new maintainers and core members to join the project and allowing for past maintainers and past core members to still remain valued to Astro. The accepted change to the governance was immediately followed by a raft of nominations to the core team. Proud to share with you all the amazing astronauts who, from our community, are now joining the Yellow Submarine this past week. Welcome Tony! It's only fitting to really have Tony to be the first one to come on board the Yellow Submarine. Tony's first post in the community was all the way back in June last year, when Astro was only a couple of months old, essentially stepping in to help a user with the now infamous Collections API. This was a precursor API to the Get Static Pass that we all use and love today. I was great at the support that he offered everyone in the community, especially in the early days, and was one of the first to be made maintainer in the project, along with Caleb, who was made core way back in August. He's been one of the linchpins in the community for the past year, and he's really helped Astro grow with his fantastic personality and his amazing dev knowledge. Previously working on it at his own company Navalis, and being one of the first kick-ass Astro sites, he has now been working full-time with Astro since the turn of the year, helping to bring the client-only hydration selector to the list of the partial hydration selectors that are available to us. Tony's passion and commitment to the project has always been on another level. Super excited to see Tony join the Yellow Submarine. Great work, dude. Well done, man. Next on board the Submarine, we welcome Mr. Ben Holmes of 221B Baker Street. Ben, formerly of Illimity fame, still the lead maintainer of the amazing Slinkity project. He is a real talent, a great guy, has always brought an air of murder mystery to the community. His strong powers of deduction has helped uncover and fix some critical bugs that will still be plaguing us today. Coming in with his questions about Astro really did help give the community greater insights into the platform and helped focus the dev team at the time to some really interesting problems. Not long in the door, with Astro working full time, Ben's influence on the project has been positively amazing. With his weekly performances on his Twitch channel, showing and exploring Astro to the wider audience on both Twitch and YouTube, Ben really is a great guy. It's amazing to see him in the Submarine. Welcome aboard, dude. So yeah, welcome aboard, Ben. Next on board the Yellow Submarine, we welcome Erica, Astro's very own royalty. She is a wonderful presence, caring and utterly respectful. Her knowledge and dedication to Astro is worth its fair share of gold. She has helped so many of us increase our understanding of how we use Astro. Working alongside Matthew in the language tools really gave Erica the chance to go about building a palace for herself, for a place that she could work in and call her own. Since she's came on board, she's really helped Astro with the VS Code extension. We've really seen the DX for Astro increase exponentially. Because of her and her amazing work, you can now code Astro in NeoVim in the terminal, Nova on the Mac, and on the online IDEs like Gitpod and GitHub Codespaces, bringing us all the goodies of the IDE and a steady rollout of riches and trinkets. We're truly blessed to have Erica residing here in Astroland. Super happy to see her now yellow. Yellow as she was before, so all I can say is welcome on board, Erica. Next we welcome Sarah, the Queen of the Docs team. Now Sarah is just wonderful, like her energy, her commitment is just amazing. I really can't begin to do this part justice. She's our editor-in-chief, our producer-in-charge, our go-to, and a friend to absolutely everybody. Yeah, so Sarah has a very different route into web development. If you were to ask her about it, she would be more than happy to explain how she got into it. Mostly she was constrained to only working with Chromebooks at the start of her web development journey, and this would normally deter many from just engaging with the whole palaver of getting into web development. Sarah is tenacious. But yeah, she quickly established herself as an expert in all things difficult, becoming the in-house expert in developing online. Her expertise is invaluable. Her journey is inspirational. Her work is just phenomenal. Having a strong background in teaching, she quickly started putting both hands on the Astro Docs itself, coming in and turning the Astro Docs from something of a loose collection of PRs and poorly maintained part of the project into what is one of the open source success stories of the year. The Astro Docs project has seen, under her supervision, an amazing amount of activity. Over 100 authors, all adding to it, 100 times as many additions made to it. From the quality of the content to the management of the docs team, Sarah has been a wonderful addition to the Astro community, and we're truly blessed to have her. It has been a real privilege to call her my friend, and even a greater joy to work alongside her as a colleague. So yeah, thank you for everything that you do, Sarah. And welcome aboard the Yellow Submarine, buddy. Next to come on board the Yellow Submarine is Dr. Chris Swithenbank, PhD. And, well, Chris is a real prodigy. His sole focus to the community is that of maximum quality and his commitment to support each and every part of Astro, from its docs to its people. Chris's first post in the community was to review a PR from the legend that is John. It was just a small example of what was to come from our good friend. Chris has been one of the strongest of Sarah's lieutenants in the docs team, helping to coordinate and manage the anthology of writers, to review the PRs and also bring about new styles and better design decisions to the docs. It is really thanks to Chris that the docs site went from that orange it was before to the lovely purple that it is today. So yeah, dude, welcome on board the Yellow Submarine, my friend. Next to come onto the Yellow Submarine is Dan. Dan comes to Astro from the Solid.js team, helping to bridge the two projects together and build stronger ties between Astro and Solid. He is a pure catalyst for change, a true believer and a great friend to have. Dan has been brought on board to help the Astro project by focusing on coming up with solutions to help the project and community grow over time. His influence has been infectious, to say the least. He's probably the most effective person in the community to deliver change. His amazing work handling the Astro Twitter account, along with his continued pursuit to building a better platform for all of us. So yeah, dude, I can't believe you're now yellow. This is fantastic. Welcome on board. And last but not least, you have me, Fuzzy, joining the core. This is an amazing opportunity, and it's daft to think that just shy of a year ago I popped in and asked a question about what is Astro, and well, a year later it turns out I'm still trying to figure that one out. So thank you very much for this amazing opportunity, guys. Really, I can't believe it. So you now find Tony, Ben, Erica, Sarah, Chris, Dan and myself all working in the Yellow Submarine alongside Fred, Matt and Nate, and we're all looking forward to really getting stuck in and making Astro such a fantastic place for our astronauts. Taking the pulse, each week we take a feel over the pulse of the With Astro repo, taking a good look over the activity that has been done by the core team and some of the many awesome contributors from within the community. This week we see the rise of Matthew. He's been absolutely crushing it this week, with around 24 PRs from him alone. Across the board there was 117 commits made, right across all the branches, with 47 of them directly made to the main branch. There was a phenomenal 90% merge rate, with a strong issue closure rate of 60% of the issues being closed this week. With plenty of activity from the core team and also the community, it was really great to see the increasing levels of participation to Astro from you guys. Do keep up the great work. Also, a wee shout out to the GitHub Action Bot, our little worker in the background managing all the GitHub activity. Bots have feelings too, guys. And this brings us nicely onto this week's release logs. The first release of the week was Beta 41. This provided improvements to let TypeScript files be imported using JavaScript extensions. There was a V implementation that allowed this to happen where the parent module is a TypeScript module. When Astro is compiling, we can provide additional metadata to allow this to happen now. So you can now import your foo.ts files as foo.js into your Astro files. Thank you very much, Matt, for doing that for us. Whereas Ben was busy battling the isSelfAccepting bug that quickly became the bane of his life for the past week and a bit. For those who are not familiar about the isSelfAccepting bug, this was first reported by Lloyd in the community where there was a bug using the React starter package where the properties were undefined or not set, and this would cause an esoteric bug inside Vite. But it wasn't just React, it was all the JS-based starter templates, and this caused Ben some significant problems. With the help of IntelliForm and others in the community, it was more apparent as to what was causing the self-recurring nightmare that kept on appearing. This caused a call out to the Vite team. Patrick amazingly came through for us and helped uncover a race condition in Vite itself, where the ID was constantly changing and finding itself removed from the module graph. This has greater implications with Vite, as it should now reduce the cold start times as a result of this isSelfAccepting bug being slayed. Vite 3 looks even better with every passing day, and we really cannot wait for the release of it. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone in the community, and especially to the guys over the Vite team, and of course to you, Ben, as well, for tackling this one tricky bug for us, guys. Really do appreciate it. It's good to see the demon slayed. Beta 42 seen both Matt and Nate in deep thought. There was a fix for importing the CSS packages into the front matter. There was a problem with the Vite CSS post import wasn't removing all the JS modules that was only containing the CSS. The fix was to create an empty CSS chunk when the import statements were left in. The other fix was the bug affecting the CSS imports was inadvertently causing the server JS to be minified when it wasn't, which really wasn't welcome. The combined changes seen better build performance and output for these particular use cases. Hot module reload was improved as well. Astro style hot module reloading by adopting the same techniques that Vite uses to improve the island hydration in hot module reloads. It fixes a Svelte specific bug that caused Svelte components styles to be lost once an Astro file was hot reloaded. So thank you very much for these two very critical fixes when it comes to CSS. Beta 43 sees further fixes from Ben and Tony this time. There was a fix for the Astro Global, where the Astro sites should default to the actual localhost port when it's not provided in the project's config. There was another fix that updated the Astro Vite plugin to bail out whenever the Vite attempts to let the plugin load a relative import. This only hits when Vite couldn't resolve an import in an Astro file's front matter. And another bug fix which gives Astro's different CLI outputs better error messages when there are no network IPs are found. The last release of the week sees two fixes to make our next week that tiny bit easier. The first was the official slaying of the self-accepting dragon, and the second was a fix to help improve the way errors are reported, especially coming through the YAML and the front matter. Now we'll be taking a look over the Astro integrations and the updates made to them. There was still a problem with lit users where they're using SAS, the preprocessor, where it failed to load. Nate managed to get a shim in there to fix things for us. Fantastic, dude. For Deno users, ESBuild is used to ensure that the dynamic imports are included into this single entry point. This is because Deno Deploy does not support the allow read or needs a single file for this to work. They have the same constraint over there in SvelteKit land. Great work, Matt. Here, the update to the Nullify adapter makes it so that the Nullify Edge functions entry bundle is completely inlined, again because Deno Deploy does not support the allow read flag. Now we're going to be taking time to recognise some of the amazing astronauts who have took time to help add value to the core project over the past week. We've seen dual contributions made to the sitemap integration. First up from Cal. First up was an amazing contribution from Cal, where the sitemap now handles the configured base path or the canonical URL path names properly when the sitemap is now being generated. So thank you very much for your amazing contribution, dude. You've honestly, the contributions that you've been making over the past month has been greatly appreciated. There's tiny bits here, there and everywhere, but they've all helped to make other users experience a lot better. So thank you very much, dude. We really do appreciate it. Alex also was contributing to the sitemap integration by removing unused dependencies from the actual integration package, also applying better typings for the sitemap options. It used to be a string, it should now return a boolean instead of the string, so thank you very much, Alex, for providing this for us. We really do hope that you and your loved ones are safe and well at this most difficult time for you, my friend. Slavia Ukraina. Next up, we see Nokazn. He's coming in just to basically help solve a bug within the markdown remark process where JSX-like expressions in the code blocks were being rendered incorrectly in the headings. Amazing work, friend. Thank you very much for this amazing contribution. Next up we have Hippo. He's been hard at work with the Markdown, especially this Markdown Remark integration. Here he adds proper source name files to the Markdown errors that fail on build, sort error messages to explain the failure for us. Also fixing bugs within the parsing logic for the MDX, and it also fixes one of the most common issues concerning the self-closing tags like the break tag or the horizontal rule tag. These are now considered valid again. This week we're just paying a quick visit to the language tools to see how the princess's domain is holding. Remember, if you have any issues or if you wish to help out and add to the language tools and enhance the Astro developer experience, head on over to the language tools repo. We're also sending our fair princess all the positive Astro Force vibes that we can. Come back to us strong, buddy. Next, we're taking a quick look over the amazing work that Automeshi provided with the amazing ESLint Astro plugin. If you guys would like to help contribute to this amazing package, by all means, take a wee quick look over the ESLint repo and contribute to Automeshi's amazing work that he's done there. Lastly, we have the amazing Prettier Plugin made for Astro by Anthony, especially for us, and if you would like to help improve the Prettier experience, by all means do check out the repo and help contribute to it. Now let's turn our focus over to the amazing team that is the Docs team here at Astro. Taking a pulse over the Docs repo, it's never a quiet week with the Docs team. This week there were 17 amazing authors all contributing to the project. Here we see Chris really stepping up and making an impressive 36 commits to the repo. What he's working on right now, I can only share with you really next week, hopefully. We see 80 commits in total across the branches, with around 2,000 additions being made to it. There was a 60% merge rate, along with a similar rate for the issues being closed this week. All in all, it was a great week for the Docs team. They were busy putting together the next set of improvements for the project, and you can tell just from their activity. We also have some good first issues for folk to get their feet wet and come and help contribute to the Docs project. Jump into the Docs channel for help and getting set up and contributing to this amazing project. A quick look over the discussions, and there's a lot of activity here, which is always great to see. The showcase feature on the discussions homepage is a proposal by Hippo for a better, more user-friendly way of showcasing Astro features on the Docs site. This is again another fantastic discussion to get involved in. Next up, we're going to be paying a quick visit to our international team and see how they've been the past week. Here we're taking a quick overview of the translations Gitbot. If you're ever wondering about the status of the pages yet to be translated, this is where you go to find out. This wonderful table displays the current status of each page, and a big shout out to the French and Brazilian translations. Also liking to see the Spanish translations increasing as well. Also the Japanese and simplified Chinese translations coming along a fair bit over the past week. Great work, guys. Now we're jumping in to see how the squaddies are getting along in the support squad. And remember, you could join up to the support squad by going to the Manage Roles channel and joining the support squad by hitting the wee emoji there. Your assistance, your contribution is always greatly appreciated. And now my favourite part of these episodes is sharing with you some of the heroes of the week. In the support squad, the squaddies that stood up and really counted through the week, we had F5, Pranav and Ernesto, legends, every single one of you. Fantastic work, guys. Your support, as always, was amazing and so many people appreciated it. So great work, guys. Next up is the Hero of the Week award. This is for someone who goes beyond the call of duty to help others in their time of need, and it has to be none other than our very own wee fantastic Hippo. And this is due to Hippo coming in and helping out James Scheller, who was working on the larger end of the project size scale, and his builds were failing when they were reaching about 6,500 pages. Hippo came in realising that the problems were lying really within the Markdown integration itself, and that's what we seen earlier when we went through the release logs. All those commits and fixes made by Hippo, all of them were in part due to the bug errors and fixes that he came across trying to help James. So this is why I would like to recognise him to be one of the heroes of the week. So thank you very much, Hippo, for your excellent work this week. And on the streams this week, you can watch Ben and me deliver the Hackathon Awards during our live stream that we did on the day, and there's a bonus point, you get to see what I look like in a suit. Yeah, that was a cold shower right afterwards. Next up we had Ben doing his weekly live streams on Twitch about SSR and exploring it in a fair bit of depth, and I must say Ben's Twitch streams are something of a weekly viewing now, so yeah. By all means, do check it out. Thursdays, 2 o'clock Eastern time, live on Twitch, guys. I highly encourage you to pop in and just show the love. Ben's a great guy, guys. And the last stream that I would like for you to check out is the one that Fred did with bDougie on open source. Now, this is a fantastic stream. It goes into so much depth about the open source community, Astro, its role, its background. It is fantastic. bDougie is a great guy. Fred's a great guy, and together it was a great conversation. So by all means, please do check out this wee stream, guys. Highly recommend it. The last note that I'd like to leave you all on is quite a happy note. It was one that was shared by Fred on his Twitter channel, and it basically said that in all of 2021, Astro was one of the most popular projects on GitHub for first-time contributors. And this makes sense on so many levels, guys. Astro is only where it's at because of the energy, the contributions, the commitments, the PRs, the issues, you name it, the effort that you guys put into this project. You are part of Astro's success story, guys. Every much part of it. So from everyone here in the Yellow Submarine, we thank you so much. And on that note, I'd like to wish you all a great week ahead of yous. Whatever you're doing, I hope you absolutely crush it. And always, peace and love, guys. Peace and love.